Hey BookTube, welcome back to the History Shelf. My name is Peg and I am your host as ever. Today I wanted to share with you some of the recent books I picked up from the New York Review of Books Classics collection. Every time they have a flash sale, and over the years I've done a few of these videos, I show you which books I picked up. And I have a pretty nice display in the master bedroom. With some horizontal shelving units that really makes the color on the spines of these books, well, these are kind of dark, but the variety of solid colors on these spines really just pop out. But let's see, I got I have 8 books to share with you from their most recent flash sale, which actually was a few months ago. But I hadn't shown them to you, so I thought I would do so now. Just a little change of pace from the usual history, although a lot of these do touch on points in history, so whether fictionalized or not, and a lot of these are like memoirs, and I think like memoirs, got a literature series here, not a literature series, but a fiction series, but all very historical, so I thought you'd like to check them out. So the first one I have here, I picked up Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist by Alexander Berkman, with an introduction by John William Ward. Let's see, it's kind of it's a big read. Let's see, I'll tell you a little bit about this. In 1892, Alexander Berkman, Russian émigré, anarchist, and lover of Emma Goldman, attempted to assassinate industrialist Henry Clay Frick. The act was intended as a retribution for the massacre of workers in the Homestead strike and as an incitement to revolution. Captured and sentenced to serve a prison term of 22 years, Berkman struggled to make sense of the shadowy and brutalized world of the prison, one that hardly conformed to revolutionary expectation. So that is the brief synopsis of Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist. So, yeah, I don't know why. I like to read about some of these folks because I just don't understand them. What really propels them, or in this case did propel this man into that line of thinking and that line of life. So, yeah, Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist by Alexander Berkman. Ooh. Let's see here. Adding to my Vasily Grossman collection that I have, I've got all of his big major works, and I'm just trying to snap up the remaining few that I have left. This is, I think, one of the more recent releases that the New York Review of Books Classics, as you can see here, that's their... Let's see if I can focus. But yeah, that's their little logo there. I picked up the People Immortal, Vasily Grossman, translated by Robert and Elizabeth Chandler. I have Life and Fate, I have Stalingrad, I have several others. I'll take a video of the shelves soon. I'll see if I might be able to do that and maybe tack it on to the end of this video, just so you can see what they look like. And then you can see all the books that I have on those shelves. They kind of go woo, way up. They're very vertical. It's really cool. But I picked up The People Immortal. Vasily Grossman wrote 3 novels about the Second World War, each offering a distinct take on what a war novel can be, and each extraordinary. A common set of characters links Stalingrad and Life and Fate, but Stalingrad is not only a moving and exciting story of desperate defense and the turning tide of war, but a monumental memorial for the countless war dead. Life and Fate, by contrast, is a work of moral and political philosophy, as well as a novel, and the deep question it explores is whether or not it is possible to behave ethically in the face of overwhelming violence. The People Immortal, from 1943, is something else entirely. Set during the catastrophic first months of the German invasion of the Soviet Union, it is the tale of an army battalion dispatched to slow the advancing enemy at any cost, with encirclement and annihilation its promised end. A rousing story of resistance, The People Immortal is the novel as weapon in hand. Isn't that interesting? So I was glad to find this during the flash sale. All right, so like another revolutionary writer that I first learned about through Johnny Keane's channel, and I have several of his books now. I believe this is one of his the more recent ones that they've put out or republished, and that is Last Times by Victor Serge. And this is an introduction by Richard Grieman. Last Times. Last Times, Victor Serge's epic novel of the fall of France in World War II is based on first-hand experience. The author was an eyewitness to the German occupation of Paris in June 1940 and joined the chaotic mass exodus south to the unoccupied zone on foot. He found himself trapped in Marseille under the Vichy government and participated in the early French resistance before escaping on the last ship to the Americas in 1941. Exiled in Mexico City, Serge poured his recent experience into a gripping novel aimed at an American audience. The book begins in a near-deserted Paris, abandoned by the government, the suburbs already noisy with gunfire. Serge's anti-fascist protagonists join the flood of refugees fleeing south on foot, in cars loaded with household goods, on bikes, pushing carts and prams under the strafing Stukas, and finally make their way to wartime Marseille. Last Times offers a vivid eyewitness account of the city's criminal underground, and no less criminal Vichy authorities, of collaborators and of the growing resistance of crowds of desperate refugees competing for the last visa and the last berth on the last hoped-for ship to the New World. So that sounds pretty harrowing. Last Times by Victor Serge. Okay, great. We're moving along here. On a whim, I decided to pick up this set of 3 books. They form a trilogy, which I'd never heard of, but I was immediately entranced. I think they form a trilogy now that I'm looking at the titles. Well, oh, I think they are. Let's see. Okay, I think we start with this one. Let me check the looks here. Maybe not. Well, they kind of unfold over many, many years, but it all begins with this. This is The Siege of Krishnapur by J.G. Farrell. Okay, and this one is set in India, 1857. And I've been reading a lot about India lately, and I've been getting really into it, and I've read some novels, some really big novels set in India, and I've just been really fascinated by the country, the culture, the people. So, yeah, I wanted to check this out. So this is, I believe, the first of this trilogy. I'm not sure how, it might be a tenuous link to the other 2. But I've never read J.G. Farrell, okay? But the description sounded interesting. I should say the introduction is also by Pankaj Mishra. So, not too big. So it says here, India, 1857, the year of the Great Mutiny, when I wrote a paper on that, finally. So I know a little bit about the Great Mutiny. Okay, so the year of the Great Mutiny, when Muslim soldiers turned in bloody rebellion on their British overlords. This time of convulsion is the subject of the Siege of Krishnapur, widely considered one of the finest British novels of the last 50 years. Farrell's story is set in an isolated Victorian outpost on the subcontinent. Rumors of strife filter in from afar, and yet the members of the colonial community remain confident of their military, and above all, moral superiority. But when they find themselves under actual siege, the true character of their dominion, at once brutal, blundering, and wistful, is soon revealed. The Siege of Krishnapur is a companion, okay, so now it's telling us, is a companion to troubles about the Easter 1916 rebellion in Ireland and the Singapore Grip, which takes place just before World War II as the sun begins to set upon the British Empire. Together, these 3 novels offer an unequaled picture of the follies of empire. So you guessed it, I have the other 2 books. I guess they're all sort of a companion to each other. So I picked up The Siege of Krishnapur, and then I picked up Troubles, which was the winner of the Lost Man Booker Prize. And And this one has an intro by John Banville. So a little thicker. And so Troubles, obviously, as it teased it in the last description, is set in 1919. After surviving the Great War, Major Brendan Archer makes his way to Ireland, hoping to discover whether he is indeed betrothed to Angela Spencer, whose Anglo-Irish family owns the once aptly named Majestic Hotel in Kilnaloe. But his fiancée is strangely altered, and her family's fortunes have suffered a spectacular decline. The hotel's hundreds of rooms are disintegrating on a grand scale. Its few remaining guests thrive on rumors and games of whist. Herds of cats have taken over the Imperial Bar and the upper stories. Bamboo shoots threaten the foundations, and piglets frolic in the squash court. Meanwhile, the Major is captivated by the beautiful and bitter Sarah Devlin. As housekeeping disasters force him from room to room, outside the order of the British Empire also totters. There is unrest in the East, and in Ireland itself, the mounting violence of the Troubles. Troubles is a hilarious and heartbreaking work, by a modern master of the historical novel. Okay, so we went from India, 1857, to Ireland, 1919. And then we go to the final book in this trilogy of empire, the Singapore Grip. J.G. Farrell, introduction by Derek Mann. And this is the thickest of all of them. So this one, Singapore, 1939. Life on the eve of World War II just isn't what it used to be for Walter Blackett, head of British Singapore's oldest and most powerful firm. Business may be booming, what with the war in Europe, the Allies are desperate for rubber and helpless to resist Blackett's price-fixing and market manipulation. But something is wrong. As swiftly as the police break one strike, the natives start up another. Blackett's daughter keeps entangling herself with the most unsuitable beaus, and his partner's idealistic son is more concerned with the League of Nations and vegetarianism than with industry. Even so, no one suspects that the world of the British Empire, of fixed boundaries between classes and nations, is about to come to a terrible end. A love story and a war story, a tragicomic tale of a besieged city and a dying way of life, the Singapore Grip offers a further expansion of the daring historical vision revealed in Farrell's earlier masterpieces, Troubles, and the Booker Prize-winning Siege of Krishnapur. All right. So here we have them all of a piece. And yeah, so I was pretty tickled. I'm not sure when I'm going to start these, but I have them, so I can do it when I'm ready. So this is another writer I've been slowly collecting a few of his novels, and I think I might have picked this up. Oh, it's interesting to me. Plus, I think if I bought 5, then you know what? At this point, I think when you go past like 4 on a flash sale, they're all super marked down. But anyway, this is called Telluria by Vladimir Sorokin, translated by Max Lawton. It's a nice bright yellow orange cover and spine. I like it. Telluria is set in the future, when a devastating holy war between Europe and Islam has succeeded in returning the world to the torpor and disorganization of the Middle Ages. Europe, China, and Russia have all broken up. The people of the world now live in an array of little nations that are like puzzle pieces, each cultivating its own ideology or identity, a neo-feudal world of fads and feuds in which no one power dominates. What does, however, travel everywhere is the appetite for the special substance tellurium. A spike of tellurium, driven into the brain by an expert hand, offers a transforming experience of bliss. Incorrectly administered, it means death. The 50 chapters of Telluria map out this brave new world from 50 different angles, as Vladimir Sorokin, always a virtuoso of the word, introduces us to, among many other figures, partisans and princes. I can hear Martine talking outside, so I just got distracted. She's talking to the dogs. Partisans and princes, peasants and party leaders, a new Knights Templar, a harem of phalluses, and a dog-headed poet and philosopher who feasts on carrion from the battlefield. This book is an immense and sumptuous tapestry of the word, carnivalesque and cruel. And Max Lawton, Sorokin's gifted translator, has captured it in an English that carries the charge of Cormac McCarthy and William Gibson. So normally I don't read like fanciful fantasy stuff or future history, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I thought I'd try something different. So Telluria by Vladimir Sorokin. And then finally, I think, is this the second one that I have? I wanted this book because it's the other half of François-René de Chateaubriand's Memoirs from Beyond the Grave. I believe this is the second volume of that. I have the first one. Yeah, this one came out in 2022. I'm just trying to see. Yes. So I have Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, 1768 to 1800. So this continues that, and it's a beast of a book, big doorstopper. But I picked up Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, 1800 to 1815. François-René de Chateaubriand, afterward by Julian Crack. Big, thick book. But now I have both of those, the memoir set. So let me just take a little sip. There we go. In 1800, François-René de Chateaubriand sailed from the cliffs of Dover to the headlands of Calais. He was 31 and had been living as a political refugee in England for most of a decade, at times in such extreme poverty that he subsisted on nothing but hot water and 2-penny rolls. I don't know what those are, but I'm guessing that they're not much. Over the next 15 years, his life changed utterly. He published Attila, René, and The Genius of Christianity to great acclaim. He traveled to the Holy Land in North Africa. He served Napoleon in Rome, then resigned in protest after the Duc d'Enghien, I can't even pronounce this French name, Duc d'Enghien was executed, making himself an enemy of the empire. Okay. Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, 1815, the second volume of Alex Andries's new and complete translation of this epic French classic, is a first-person War and Peace, telling the story not only of the author's own life during a tumultuous period in European history, but of the parallel life of Napoleon. With humor, melancholy, and passion, Chateaubriand continues to paint his self-portrait, in which the whole history of France swirls around the sitter, like a midst of dreams. So, yes, I had to have the second volume. I guess maybe there's another one coming, I don't know. No one has said. It is almost 800 pages. It's a big boy. So there you have it, everyone. I've made a fairly short video for once. Shocking, I know. But yes, just wanted to give you a little taste of my recent New York Review of Books Classics acquisitions. And I think I can do a pyramid. Yeah, there we go. Woo! Look at these beauties. So what I'll do is I'll put these on my shelves. I'll take a little video of the layout. I'll try to cobble these two videos together. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this collection. Let me know which ones you have, which ones you're enjoying. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to the channel. And I hope to see you soon. Take care, BookTube. Hey, BookTube. I'm just here to take some video of my shelves. Hopefully we don't have any more loud cars going by. As you can see, I still have room for a few more up at the top. There, and also I'm using some of these bottom two shelves are for other things that are not New York Review Book of Classics, so they're going to go somewhere else in case I were to buy more New York Review Book of Classics, NYRB Classics. But look at the beautiful spines and the colors. As you can see, I'll do a zoom in. Here's the Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, my 2 volumes there. A few of these I've bought new over the years. Here's my Vasily Grossman section, which actually, I need to change something out here. And I have the Story of a Life, but I have the, this is the advanced review copy I got from the publisher. Sorry, our back of our yard faces a small street. It's normally not this loud. But I've got Vasily Grossman here. And the most recent one, which I've just shown you. I've gone ahead and moved a few over here. I do have, I'm just panning around in case you guys are interested. These are my Victor Serges right here, so I've got quite a few starting around here. Case of Comrade Tulyev, Memoirs of a Revolutionary, Unforgiving Years, I've got his notebooks, Conquered City, Midnight in the Century, and Last Times. I've got some history up here, Savage War of Peace, The 30 Years' War, Crisis of the European Mind. Over here, and well, this is a vintage copy of Name of the Rose, which is very nice, but it doesn't belong here, but I can move it. Yeah, as you can see, just a variety of titles that I have, in case you are interested. Anything but jumping out. More history here. Reveille in Washington by Margaret Leach. Essays of the Living Thoughts of Kierkegaard. Then I've just added the J.G. Farrell group of books here. Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist, which I might actually move up to where Victor Serge is. And a couple of these were, I received these from publishers. And so I don't have the final copies, but I think that these are okay. But, I might get the final copies. Oh, and then, yes, I have the box set of Anniversaries by Huey Johnson. Very big. Very beautiful. I think I'll turn that around so you can see the spines on that. But yeah, look at these vertical shelving units. Aren't they beautiful? Martine put these up for me. She bought them, and I just love them. They're right next to my bedside table here. I've got lots of books there, books on the floor right next to the bed that I'm reading and working on for review. So, yeah, it's always an adventure here at the History Shelf. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks.